Today's episode of Variant is brought to you by the U.S. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Welcome to Variant One Shot. Before I get into talking about the Symbiotes, I just wanted to remind you guys that the awesome people over at Comic Cave Studios have invited us to the Captain America Civil War red carpet premiere in Los Angeles this coming Tuesday, April 12th. And let me just tell you, I'm extremely excited. I'll be live tweeting, periscoping, Instagramming, and so on from the red carpet and the after party event. So if you want live coverage from the event, be sure to follow me and Variant on all forms of social media. I'll put the links for them in the description below. As for today's episode, let's dive right in and start talking about the origin of the Symbiotes. The Symbiotes are called the Clintar. They are a peaceful alien collective who seek to join with other races to become the perfect warrior of nobility. Only the perfect blend of moral and physical ideal can create such a warrior. Anything less results in bad pairing. And bad pairing will disconnect the symbiote from the being and cause damage and horror. The symbiotes were scattered across the entire galaxy after their home planet was devoured by the world eater Galactus. Shocker, right? That Galactus is the one that destroyed their world? That guy just can't leave worlds alone. Anyway, for some reason, Galactus could not siphon the life force from the symbiotes themselves. This event left the symbiotes psychologically traumatized, and they became renegades and disconnected from the group. Some of the race is now nomads and live on various worlds throughout the cosmos, Earth obviously being one of them. The remaining collective formed a world in an uncharted area of space and continued its mission. It would also continue to bring back those who had left the collective to repair them and to remind them of their true purpose. Symbiotes require an intelligent organism for a host. Once bonded, a symbiote can remove all poisons and cancers from its host body. Without the perfect host to become a noble warrior, the symbiote disconnects from the collective and bad things follow. Kinda like when Carnage bonded with the psychopath Cletus Cassidy. Symbiotes in these situations have a give-take relationship with their host, but usually take more than they give. For example, when Spider-Man was first bonded with the Venom symbiote during the Secret Wars event, it seemed too good to be true. He no longer needed web shooters or web fluid. He was stronger and he could morph the symbiote at will between street clothes and his costume. However, the negatives became quickly apparent. Spider-Man became more violent and was constantly exhausted. He discovered this was because the alien was taking his body out on patrol in his sleep. Spider-Man eventually rejected the alien and it found its way to Eddie Brock. Since then, there have been numerous other symbiotes, most of which are relatives to the Venom symbiote, who are born on Earth, like Carnage and Toxin. As for symbiote biology, yeah, we're getting scientific up in here. Actually, no. That basically just means powers, abilities, and weaknesses. It's a bit conflicted between generations, but overall, they amplify the physical strength, agility, and healing of their hosts. They are also vulnerable to sonic sound and fire, and they reproduce asexually, meaning they don't need to do, you know, the no pants dance. Symbiotes also seemingly grow stronger with each generation. They have an amazing camouflage ability, and it seems they can absorb the abilities of previous hosts. Having bonded with Spider-Man, it gave later hosts wall-crawling abilities. They are usually drawn towards negative emotions and feed heavily on the brain-produced chemical phenethylamine. The loss of phenethylamine is the very thing that leads the host of the symbiotes to become violent and mentally unstable. It's essentially the biggest drawback of being the host of one. But just like that, friends, you now know the origin of the symbiotes and some of their traits. Before I leave you guys, I want to thank our sponsor, the U.S. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. From April 8th to the 13th, law enforcement will be out in force looking for people who are texting and driving and violating other distracted driving laws. Whether you're texting, talking on the phone, eating, adjusting your radio, or any number of other activities, all distractions endanger every other road user's safety. In 2014 alone, 3,179 motor vehicle passengers were killed and approximately 431,000 were injured in distracted driving crashes. So remember, never text while driving. You drive, you text, you pay. For more information, visit distraction.gov.